So, lads, in pretty big news before the Aces game tomorrow, Indiana Fever coach Stephanie White is now back. She is now officially back with the team, and I do hope that everything is okay in her personal life. Obviously, I've heard rumors. I'm not going to speak on the rumors, but I hope everything is okay with her and her family. That is, at the end of the day, look, we do talk about basketball, but at the end of the day, these humans are humans. People are humans, and it is like that is the most important thing. But Stephanie White being back really helps this team. It really helps this team. Why? If you guys look at any of my pregame analysis, or if you look at my last video or the video where I was talking about Stephanie White being out, there was a conclusion that I came to. And the conclusion that I came to was that Stephanie White is that teams, when they're rolling, don't need a coach. Like when things are going well, if you're winning by 20, sometimes when not having a coach when everything's going well is great, but when things are going badly, you need a coach. And Austin Kelly is not a head coach. He doesn't have head coach experience. And again, this is coming from an assistant coach. Like, I'm somebody that at the youth level has been a head coach. Has been, like, in Ireland, I've coached at the collegiate level, but at the, like, in our top couple of tiers, I've only ever been an assistant coach. And that's the difference between head coaches a lot of the time and assistant coaches is it's never really basketball knowledge. It is the ability to make adjustments in game, the ability to know when to call timeouts, the ability ATO plays. That's an awful lot of what a head coach does, or what a coach does, what a head coach realistically does. Their job is essentially to be the manager of the team, to make sure they get the best out of everybody, to make sure that the team is executing a game plan. Maybe it's not even to write up a game plan, it's just make sure they execute it and call timeouts at proper times, make proper rotations, which is why we thought Stephanie Watt or Christy Sides was such a bad coach, because she was really bad at that. Christy Sides was a great game planner. She was a great game planner, but as soon as teams adjusted, she didn't have any ability to adjust back. She was bad at calling timeouts. She was very, very bad in terms of game management. Her rotations were very poor. But you could tell Christy Sides, like, there were positives Christy Sides, and there are positives to Austin Kelly, I think, as a coach. Like, there's a reason why he's trusted, but at the end of the day, they kind of needed her. But this is a big one as well with Dewana Bonner. Let's see what Stephanie White has to say.
How is she doing? Is there any timeline for her return?
Yeah, she's doing well. She's doing well. Again, no timeline. I think it's day to day, and for us to just make sure that we're continuing to be supportive of DB in her.
Okay, apologies. Had a little bit of a malfunction when it came to audio. Let's take a listen now to what she said.
How is she doing? Is there any timeline for her return?
Yeah, she's doing well. She's doing well. Again, no timeline. I think it's day to day, and for us to just make sure that we're continuing to be supportive of DB in her.
How is she doing? Is there any time?
Look, that's not ideal. It is not ideal with a player like Scott Agnes coming out there and saying, Bonner's still away from the team, no timeline day to day. Saw the clip. Fam told me you're out there with the Pacers. Good luck tomorrow. But, man, Ken Swift has got some serious pull. He's having Christine Brennan respond to him. Scott Agnes is responding to him. Like, he's got some serious pull in Indiana Fever circles, it seems, that Ken Swift Twitter account. Shout out to him, by the way. Shout out to him. But, and also, by the way, his Fever versus Everybody merch. Top quality. He sent me a shirt, and it's currently in the wash, but I'll have it for a Fever game in the next couple of weeks. But yeah, Stephanie White being back is huge for the team. It is, because, look, you don't want to slide. And again, as I've said, when a team is rolling, you can be okay without a coach. This team's not rolling. This team is so far from rolling that they may as well be. It's like trying to roll a gigantic dice that you don't have enough weight to push, that you're not strong enough to push over. It just doesn't roll. You might be able to slide it a bit. You're not going to roll. You're not going to roll it. But yeah, it's a pity. It is a pity when it comes to that she was gone the last game. But at the end of the day, there are more important things. And look, the Indiana Fever still have time. Look, a best one round in the playoffs and a Commissioner's Cup win, and this season has been a success for the Fever. We have to say, they messed up the offseason. And look, we all fell for the hype. I fell for the hype. We all fell for the hype of their offseason, and that's fine. We're allowed to do that. But the goal is right now to figure out an identity for next year. You're not winning anything this year. And I understand that like the players should try to win every game. The coach should try to win every game. They should try to win. But like Herb Simon, the owner, needs to pull in everyone and be like, you done goofed. You done goofed. Your goal right now is to try to win a championship in maybe year 4. It took AJ Wilson until year 5 to win a championship. Stewie won one in year 3, but Stewie had Sue Bird, had prime Natasha Howard, had prime Alicia Clark, had Sammy Whitcomb when she was young-ish. I think they'd Sammy Whitcomb. But like they had players, they had hoopers, they had vets, they had young, hungry players. They had the depoy who and Natasha Howard back then. We have 6 years older Natasha Howard. They had mid-20s. They had 20s Natasha Howard. They had all-star Natasha Howard. They had Sue Bird. They had everything. Whereas the Fever, they had a team that worked. Their team worked together. The pieces fit. And the Fever, unfortunately, don't. They don't fit, and that's fine. You can just start shooting blanks. You can miss the target 10 times in a row in an offseason. That's fine. That's fine. Like, I'm not saying that, like, when it comes to the Fever, to get rid, like, you're going to get rid of coaching staff. I'm not saying any of that. But at the end of the day, look, coming into this season, the important thing is that they just keep fighting. And I don't think with Stephanie White's there, we would have seen the lack of effort that we saw. I think there were a lot of reasons. Like, I don't think Stephanie White is this unbelievable coach for this team. I think she's a great coach. I don't think she's a great coach for this team. But her being there, you're not going to see the team not try. You're not going to see the team when there's no coach, and when there's no head coach, and things are going bad, things go real bad. When things go well, they go real well. So, in a close game, as I've said, the coach really matters, and they would have won that game if Stephanie White was there. I mean that. They would have won that game if Stephanie White was there against the Valkyries. They don't blow that 13-point lead. They don't get a 13-point lead and take both Caitlin Clark and Leah Boston off at the same time. They don't do that. They don't do that if that happens. But, yeah, that is pretty much it, lads. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. I do think her coming back gives them a better chance against the Aces, but at the end of the day, the Aces are out for blood. They're below 500. They're trying to get to above 500. I think this is a game the Fever can win. I think this is a game that it would be dumb to predict the Fever win. I predicted the Fever to beat the Valkyries by 20. I predicted the Fever to beat the Sun by 20. I got that one right at least. But like, I am doing very badly on Fever predictions. I predicted the Fever to beat the Dream without Caitlin Clark. They got killed. I predicted the Fever to lose to the Sky without Caitlin Clark. They won. I genuinely think I have been wrong. I think I have been wrong on Fever games. I'm trying to think of Fever game I predicted right. I predicted both Atlanta ones wrong. I predicted both Liberty games wrong. I predicted one of the Washington games right, the one they lost. I predicted them beat the Sun both times. I got the Sun right once. So like I am like anytime I think the Fever are gonna win, they lose. Every time I think they're gonna lose, they win. So I'm gonna predict the Fever to lose if for no other reason than to jinx the Aces, because I seem to be a jinx right now.